In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to build a complete WordPress website from scratch. So let's check it out. Hey, this is Matt from onlinebusinesstech.com, and this is going to be a step-by-step tutorial to teach you how to build a WordPress website from scratch. It's going to be very similar to my online business tech website. So we're going to start with setting up your web hosting, installing WordPress, setting up the theme, and we're actually going to use the same theme that I'm using on my own website, onlinebusinesstech.com. So I'm going to show you how to add your own logo, how to add these social media links, set up your navigation so people can go to the different pages on your website, and we're going to set up the actual static pages. So an about page, getting started page, a resources page, things like that. I'll also show you how to configure the sidebar so you can put in your own images and text. So since this is a pretty in-depth tutorial, I've included links in the YouTube description so you can jump forward or back to review sections that you need to look at again. So don't be afraid to pause the video and come back later to review certain parts of this tutorial. So just to review the overall process of building a WordPress site, the first thing you need to do is pick a domain name. So that's the .com that people are going to type in to get to your website. And I actually have another video that goes over that whole process because there's really a lot that goes into it from a branding perspective and a technical perspective. So I'll link to that in the description below. Once you have a domain picked out, then you have to choose your web hosting service. So that is what is actually going to host your images and your files that make up the website, and that service will serve your website to anybody who wants to go to the site. So once you pick a hosting company, then you install WordPress, then you pick a theme, and the theme is going to change the look of your website. And you're probably going to want to customize the theme a little bit. And then once you're done setting all that up, then you can start creating your pages and the different blog posts that you want to actually put on the site. So the first thing we need to do is set up your web hosting. So there's a ton of great web hosting companies out there, but the one I use and the one I recommend is Bluehost. Now it's totally up to you, but if you decide to go with Bluehost and you'd like to support my channel, you can go to onlinebusinesstech.com/Bluehost, and I'll earn a commission by referring you to the company. But there's a bunch of other hosting services out there, and as far as this tutorial goes, the process is going to be very similar. You know, once you set up WordPress, you should still be able to follow along with this tutorial. But again, if you'd like to support my channel, you can check out the description below for that affiliate link. And if you do choose to use it, I really appreciate it. Okay, so once we're at Bluehost, you're going to see this big green button that says Get Started Now. So we're going to click that, and we're going to see the 3 different options here. You definitely don't need the Business Pro. I personally have the Plus plan, and the advantage of this one is it'll allow you to create as many websites as you want. You just need to, purchase the domain, link it to your account, and you can build as many websites as you want under this one account. So you're paying $6.95 a month for as many websites as you want. This is, more than likely you're going to end up building more than one site, but if you feel like it's unnecessary for you at this point, then you can definitely start out with the starter plan, and that's going to give you one site to start from. And we'll go ahead and use that for this tutorial. So I click Select, and you get to choose a new domain that's included with your hosting package. So just type in the domain that you want and click Next. Now, if the domain is already taken, you're going to see a screen like this that gives you a bunch of suggestions, but just scroll down a little bit and you can type in a different domain to see if it's available. Okay, so the domain that I'm going to be setting up is newwordpresstutorial.com, and next you just need to fill out your account information. Type in your email address. That's where all the important information about your domain registration is going to go. So make sure you put in the correct email address there. And with the package information, a lot of this stuff is unnecessary. I would uncheck most of these things here. The only one that you might want to use is the domain privacy protection, and what that's going to do is it'll hide your personal information like your address and your name and contact information from people who want to, you can actually search any domain and find out who registered that domain. So if you want to hide that information from anyone on the internet from seeing it, you want to make sure that this is checked. Now personally, I'm not too concerned about that, so I leave that unchecked, and you can see it costs you an extra $10 a year to have that service. Now in this drop-down menu, you want to select which term you want to pay for. So you have to pay for 12 months in advance, or 2 years or 3 years in advance. So depending on which one you choose, you get a little bit of a better rate. So I'm going to pick the 12-month one, and then I'll scroll down and enter my credit card information. So make sure you read the terms and conditions and click next. Okay, on the next page, we have a bunch of upgrades that they're trying to sell us. None of these are necessary. So we're just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom and click complete. All right, so we now have our hosting set up, and the first thing they want us to do is create a password. So we'll click that button and create a password. So make sure you just follow these rules below and create your password and click create. All right, you now have hosting. So the next step is to log in and install WordPress. So type in the password that you just created, and your username is going to be the domain that you purchased your hosting package with. So let's click submit, and you might see some promotional thing here. You want to just click no thanks, I'm not interested. And since you're following along with this tutorial here, you can click this checkbox here to hide this window. So this is your Bluehost Dashboard. This is where you can set up email addresses, add new domains, all sorts of stuff. But for right now, we want to scroll down to where it says website, and you see this button that says install WordPress. So let's click that. And right here under the do-it-yourself free option, you're going to click install. And on this page, you're just selecting the domain you want to install WordPress onto. And by default, it should show you the domain that you just purchased with your hosting. And you're going to click check domain. And what this is doing is just making sure there isn't something else installed on the domain already. And since this is a new domain, it'll be fine. Now, before you click the install now button, we want to grab some advanced options. You can change the site name here if you want. So I'll change mine to new WordPress tutorial. So you want to make sure you have your username and password. So this is a great time to change your password if you want to do that. I'm going to just keep the default one here and just copy it to my clipboard. And then you just check off the terms and conditions and click install now. So while your installation is in process, you're going to see the screen where they try to upsell you to purchase some themes. And that's totally fine. You can purchase a premium theme, but in this tutorial, we're actually going to use a free theme, which is the same one I use for my website. So before you jump into buying a premium theme, you should check out some of the great free themes that are available and might, be good enough for what you want to do, and you might be able to customize it the way you want. So once you see this message saying your installation is complete, click View Credentials, and down below, you're going to see this alert where it says credentials. Just click view, and this is going to give you all the information you need to edit your website. So this is the link to your actual website. So if you click that, it'll open a new tab. So this is what your website looks like right now. So you can see we're actually on your website right now, and this is just a default landing page, and we can get rid of that pretty quickly. But this is just so if you want to hide your page while you're building it, you can just keep this default landing page that says coming soon. So what we need to do is log into the admin dashboard of WordPress. That way we can customize it. Now the thing that's cool about WordPress is you don't have to download any special software or anything like that. You actually work on the website right inside your browser. So to do that, we want to go back to the installation credentials, and click on the admin URL. Now we're going to need this username and password in order to log in. So we'll click on that. It opens a new tab, and we want to copy the username and paste that in here, and then the password, we'll copy that and paste that in here as well. You might want to click Remember Me so you don't have to keep putting that password in every time you log in. So just click Log In, and this is your WordPress dashboard. So this is where you're going to do all of your customization, adding content, adding blog posts. Everything's done from this dashboard. So there's a few things we want to do right off the bat, and that's mainly just getting rid of some default plugins that Bluehost installs for us. And for instance, this Mojo Marketplace, it's just trying to sell you premium themes. So if we click the plugins button here, that'll bring us to the plugins page where we can manage all of the different plugins that we have installed in WordPress. So we're going to disable Jetpack. We're going to select the checkbox for Jetpack and Mojo Marketplace and Hello Dolly. This one is just a, it just gives you these little quotes every time you log in, so it's really not necessary. So now we want to go to this drop-down menu and select Deactivate and Apply. And now that they're deactivated, we can delete them. So we're just going to check off Hello Dolly, Jetpack, and Mojo Marketplace again. And under the bulk actions, we'll select Delete and Apply. Now, plugins can always be reinstalled, so don't worry if you're not sure if you're going to need some of this stuff later. So click Yes to delete these files and data. So now that we've deleted the Mojo Marketplace plugin, if you go to your website now, you'll be able to see the site because that Coming Soon feature was part of that plugin. So this is what our site looks like right now, and we're going to make some changes to this, but this is the default 2015 WordPress theme that comes with every WordPress installation. So I'm going to go back to my dashboard, and before making any changes to the theme, what I like to do is actually add a little bit of content to the site with some static pages, just like an About page, Contact page, Resources page, stuff like that, just to have something on the site that we can work with. We can keep this plugin installed for now, but we're not going to talk about that right now. There's also some other settings that I like to set up in the settings panel, but I'm going to leave that for a later video as well. Let's just focus on building the basic website. So what we need to do is go to the Pages page, and you'll see the sample page here. We can go ahead and trash that. So click the trash button. Then we'll click Add New to create a new page. And the difference between pages and posts are basically, think of it in the sense of anything that you want attached to your navigation menu. So like an About page, a Contact page, Resources, things like that. You want it to be set up as a static page. And then your posts, those are the articles that you're going to share on social media. You know, you wouldn't really share your About page on social media. So that's kind of the basic difference between the two. So let's just go ahead and type in a title. So we'll do an About page here, and you can dismiss this window. So we'll just type in some basic text. This works very similar to a word processor. So this is the About page. So you have a bunch of options here, bold, italic. You can make different lists. And if you click this button here, that'll give you some additional options where you can change the style of the text that you're currently working on and things like that. So we're just going to do some really basic pages. So just click the Publish button, and we'll add another page. So click Add New. This will be the Contact page. So this is my contact information. And we'll click Publish again. And we'll add another page called Resources. We'll create a Resources page. Resources. This is the resources page, and we'll click publish. Now posts work the same way. If we just click on the posts page, this is the default one, hello world. Click add new if you want to create a new post. And the format is very similar. And again, I'll click publish. Now, if I were working on this for a live site that I didn't want to publish it right away, you could just click save draft and come back to it later. But for now, I'm just going to click publish. And now keep in mind, if we wanted to go back to the pages we created, you just go back to the pages dashboard, and you can see all three of these pages that we just created. And if I wanted to edit them, you just click the edit button, and it brings you back to the editing interface. So let's take a look at the current theme that we have on this website. So if we go to Appearance and click Themes, this is the current theme that we have active on our website. Now, every theme is going to be different. You're going to get different types of customization features depending on the theme that you choose. And that might be a reason why you want to go to a premium plugin if you're really apprehensive about digging into a theme, or if you can't customize it the way that you want, you might want to look at a premium theme. But let's take a look at some of the features built into the 2015 theme that we can customize. So if you click the Customize button, it'll bring up a live preview of your site and a number of different options that you can change. So if we wanted to change the tagline, we could click the drop-down menu and change the tagline. It lets us change a few of the colors. We can add a header image, which will place an image in this space here. It also lets us put in a background image, and we can change the widgets, which are all of the things you see here are widgets. So we can change and edit those however we want. And we can change the front page to be either a static page, or by default it'll display all of the new blog posts that you publish. So it's a little bit limited in the different options that you have to customize this theme. So let's click this close button here, and that's fine. And what we're going to do is add a new theme. So we'll click the Add New button. Now there are a ton of themes that you can browse through and use for free. One thing that I would suggest though is, if you are going to use a theme other than the one I'm about to show you, make sure you click the feature filter and select fluid and responsive layout as a bare minimum, because you want to make sure that your website is going to look great whether it's viewed on a computer, on a mobile device, on a phone, tablet, anything like that. And if it's fluid or responsive, it's going to do that. But for this tutorial, we're going to search for interface, and that's this theme right here. So if we just click install, it'll install the theme for us. So that just downloaded and installed the theme, and we're going to click activate. But keep an eye on this menu over here, and notice how when I click activate, it's going to add a new menu item in this menu. So we now have this theme options menu, and it just goes to show you that depending on the theme that you install, you're going to get different options. You might see a new menu pop up and things like that. So we still have the customize window that'll let you customize some of the default WordPress options, but we have this theme options window as well. But first, let's go back to our website and just click refresh, and we'll see our new layout. So by default, we have a menu here that goes to our different pages that we created. And so these are the actual pages that we created in WordPress, and clicking the site title will bring us back to the main page. Okay, so this theme comes with some great features, and let's go ahead and configure some of those now. So we'll go back to our dashboard, and we're going to go under the appearance menu, we're going to click theme options. So this is a theme-specific option. By installing this theme, we're getting this page. You're not going to see this page if you have a different theme installed, so just keep that in mind. Under Layout Options, if we go to Site Layout, we have two options. So right now, the site is in the wide setting, so it's going to span the entire width of the screen. If we go to Narrow Layout and save all changes, if we go back to the site and refresh, we have this narrow setting, and we have a background that we can play around with. We can add a background image or change the color there as well. Now, back on the dashboard, under Content Layout, the default is right sidebar, which I kind of like. It gives you an area to the right-hand side for widgets, and the main content area is over to the left. And responsive layout is enabled, which is definitely something you want. You want to keep that on. Again, that's going to make your website change size automatically when you're viewing it on a mobile device. Next, we'll go to Design Options, and under Custom Header, we can replace this text with a custom logo. So if you have a logo that you want to display on your site, you can click Change Header Logo and click Select Files, and select the file and click Open, and it'll upload the logo for you. And you just scroll down to the bottom and click Insert into Post. So once you've selected your header logo, just check the Header Logo Only radio button and click Save All Changes. So now your site will show a logo instead of the text title on the website. So if we go back to our theme options, the next thing I want to show you is how to add the social media links at the top of the page. So click the Contact Social Links, and under Social Links, so type in the links to the different social media profiles you want to have at the top of your page. So I'm going to do Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. So once you have those links in place, scroll down and click Save All Changes. And when you go back to your page and click Refresh, you'll see this bar appears at the top, and the different social media icons will automatically appear, and when you click on it, it'll go to your actual social media page. So the last thing I want to show you is how widgets work. So widgets are the things that appear in the sidebar of your website. So if you go to under the Appearance menu, click on Widgets, and you're going to see all the different types of widgets that you can have in a sidebar, and then you're going to see the different types of sidebars that are available in that specific theme that you currently have active. So depending on what theme you have, you're going to see different features here. This theme actually has its own custom widgets as well. I don't use any of these, and in fact, I don't use any of these special business page sidebars or widget areas either. So because this theme has a right sidebar, meaning I have the content on the left and the sidebar on the right, we want to make sure that we add widgets to the right sidebar. So in this case, we can just drag the search widget, drop that in there, and we can drag a text box and drop it into place as well. And in this text box will be About Me, and I could say, hi, my name is Matt, and click Save. And if we go back to the site and refresh, you'll see the search widget, and then below that is just a generic text box, and I've included an About Me section. Another popular widget that people like to use is the recent posts, and if you drag that in there, it'll show all the recent posts that you have on your site. But a lot of the other ones just kind of add junk to your site, and I would tend to try to keep things more simple whenever you can. So congratulations, you've just created your own website. And so from here, what you would do is continue to customize it, dig through the different theme options and customizations that you can do to your website, and use the pages and posts to add new content to your page. And if you'd like to learn more tips on online business tech, make sure you subscribe to my channel and check out my website at onlinebusinesstech.com.